Namaste and welcome from Dhananjay Kumar. After some gap, today I am resuming the study of Yoga Sutra by Patanjali. An earlier episode on Yoga was introduction to Patanjali and his Yoga Sutras. And the questions that we tried to answer was, what is yoga? Who was Patanjali? And what is Yoga Sutra? So that was the first episode in the beginning. Today I will take up the first sutra of Patanjali text, Yoga Sutras. Sutra means the thread, and sutras means the thread that are joined. And the thread is basically an aphorism or a very succinct statement, not even full statement or full sentence, but just a gesture, a hint to the concept and description and analysis behind that short statement. So that is sutra. And the intention is that understanding the sutra, you will hold it and climb through that sutra. The sutra becomes the rope through which you can climb higher. And the first sutra of Patanjali is about discipline of yoga. In Sanskrit it is Atha Yoga Anusasanam. Atha means now, Yoga, Anusasanam means discipline of yoga. So when I started to study this text many decades ago, I wondered why the first word in first sutra is Atha. Atha means now. Then many thoughts came to my mind. I discussed with my teachers as well and contemplated myself that Atha, to begin with, suggests that something else was being discussed, something else was written or spoken prior to beginning this Shastra, this text on yoga. So it's a continuity. Patanjali has written other texts on grammar and philosophy, Yoga Darshan. So somewhere after discussing many of the topics there, then he introduces the subject of yoga and said, now I will talk about yoga. Now. And why now? First of all, it is in the context of a continuing series of teachings. But now also to me means, and I am sharing this with you, that you have tried to live a good, happy life, stress-free, healthy, calm and creative mind, and it has not worked out. So what do? Now you follow the discipline of yoga. You have searched throughout the world for happiness, you have accumulated wealth, you have accumulated knowledge, but still you feel not at ease. There is something more to life. There is something more within yourself, and there is something more you can accomplish and contribute. That something is missing. So now we study the discipline of yoga. And one can go on that many things, now is the time. It is this moment that you realize all the other attempts may not have succeeded. Now let's try and begin yoga. And in many of the videos I've explained what is yoga, which is quite often misunderstood as a set of physical exercises, which is not the case. Yoga is union. Union with what? Your union with the universe. Your short span of life uniting with the eternity, infinity. Your perception, which is scattered, is coming together in harmony, in integration. Simple examples that I explain to children, that when you say in front of you there is left and right, there are two directions. But if you are standing on the other side, opposite of me, my left is your right and your left is my right. My left is your right and your left is my right. Direction has changed. If you are on a different part of the surface of the earth, then all the directions change. In so-called empty space, you will not see any direction. Which way will you say, left or right or up and down? If you are on the South Pole, your up is actually down, and you're standing on the North Pole, you're looking down, maybe actually up. But what about empty space? There is no direction. East, west, north, south is in relation to the sun. If the sun is rising this way, you call it east. And it is all man-made concept. East, west, north, south. Similarly, when your mind is fragmented, you have having conflicting thoughts, struggle, divisiveness in your personality. Unite them, become an integrated, wholesome being. And for that, what you need is discipline. Discipline means not once in a while you will engage in yoga. It is a discipline. And yoga is not only physical practice, as I mentioned earlier. It has to do with your environment. You have to find the right environment which is peaceful, there is not too much noise, there is not too much conflict. You have to create an environment outside where you sit or stand or recline and practice yoga asanas, physical postures. And also, the second element is your own purity. Purity of your body, purity of your diet, purity of your mind, purity of your likes and dislikes, your habits. There is certain cleanliness, purity. So that is also very important. And your behavior, your attitude. Then comes the second part. And the second part is asana practice. That is physical postures. And that is what you see all around, people calling it yoga, which means to them yoga asanas or physical postures. But it goes on to pranayama. You have to coordinate your breath with physical practices, as well as apply and expand your breath for the overall well-being. And after pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, concentration, dhyan, meditation, and samadhi, the ecstasy and the bliss and the unification with the divine, I will explain those aspects later on. But in this video, let me stay with discipline. So discipline requires that it is not once in a while. You make a determined effort to be regular in your practice. You choose a time, day, and preferably a location. That also helps. Same time, same place, same day of the week, once a week, twice a week, 3 times, or every day, depending on your initial capability and initial interest. Later on, you will want to do it more regularly. And you designate 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever, to begin with. And at that time and at that place, you go there and you begin practice with some calming the mind, maybe some mantras, and follow that practice regularly. That is rule number 1. Secondly, you begin with simpler forms or techniques of yoga. Do not look at other people and say, well, that person is doing, upside down and standing on his arms and he can twist and turn. Don't try those things. Begin very simple within your capability. The rule to follow: do not hurt or injure yourself while practicing yoga. Be comfortable. Stay within your limit. If something hurts, gradually, slowly withdraw it, not with a jerk. By that I mean staying in your limit is when you reach your limit, that I can raise my hand only up this far. After that my shoulder hurts. Well, do just a little bit higher. And next time you try a little bit higher. And maybe you can straighten your arm like this. So always push your limit, but don't overdo. That is also a rule to follow. If you have a stiff neck and you're trying to make it flexible, so first make a small circle. Small circle. After a few times, then make a wider circle. And always do both sides, clockwise and counterclockwise. When you are comfortable, push your limit a little bit. Go full circle. I'm just giving you certain hints which are recommended for practice of yoga. Is to push your limit just a little bit. Not overdo it, strain your muscles, break your bones, or feel dizzy or breathless, hypertension. Those things are not necessary at all. So stay comfortable and do as much as you can, and every time just go a little bit further. That is the idea. But the most important thing is discipline. Do not say that, well, today I will engage in yoga, practice yoga for 2 hours, and then for next month you will not do anything. It's better to have a smaller goal which you can meet and practice regularly. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, but stay with that course, because that discipline will benefit you, improve your feelings, your well-being in such a way that you will want to do it regularly and you look forward to doing it regularly. Okay, so this much for now. Atha Yoga Anushasanam. Now the discipline of yoga. Remember, the key word is discipline, and in the context of a broader meaning of yoga beyond physical practices, physical exercises or asanas. Thank you for listening and watching, and happy beginning on the journey of yoga. See you again soon.